Welcome. My name is William J. Rothwell. You can call me Bill. Today, I'd like to briefly talk to you about organization development interventions. What does that word interventions mean? Well, the reality is it was stolen from the field of psychology. When psychologists set out to help someone with a problem, they call their efforts an intervention. For example, suppose a married couple approaches a marital counselor for help. The marital counselor will call that effort a marital counseling intervention. So intervention means a helping relationship, a change effort. Now, in the field of organization development, we also use the term intervention to refer to the implementation of a change effort. One thing that I've learned, I've been teaching organization development for 31 years, and I've been applying OD for the same, longer than that, for nearly 50 years. And one thing I've learned is that often people don't understand that an intervention is just a part of the change model. So a change model gives us guidance on how to implement a change effort. The intervention, though, is the actual implementation phase. A lot of times people don't understand that intervention may take the form of training. It may take the form of career planning or career counseling. It may take the form of team building. It may take the form of change help during a merger or company acquisition or a takeover. There are literally hundreds of OD interventions. And the length of those can go from just a few minutes in a helping relationship, such as one coaching intervention between the coach and the worker who's being coached, or it could drag on for many years. How long does it take to change company culture? That's actually been examined, and there's no one correct answer to that because there are a number of variables that affect how long it's going to take to change company culture. One of those is the size of the organization to be changed. If your company is a mom and pop grocery store employing two people, mom and dad, we can probably change overnight. But if we're talking about Coca-Cola, a company doing business in over 100 nations worldwide, how long do you think it's going to take to change Coke's corporate culture? Well, think in terms of years. More like 4 to 6 years in a company of that size. Do we have 4 to 6 years to bring about a culture change? In many cases, we don't. And that means we may need to use special approaches to our interventions. We can use an approach like whole systems transformation, where we can bring about a corporate culture change in a weekend, but it may not be as easy or as painless as it sounds because we might have to shut down the whole company for the weekend in order to make that change. And if you're a company the size of Coca-Cola, how easy is it going to be to shut down worldwide for 2 days? You see what I'm saying? So OD interventions are the actual implementation of a change effort, whether that change is team building or help with a merger, or help with an acquisition, or succession planning, or human resource management transformation. There are literally hundreds of OD interventions. and how they are managed over such potentially lengthy time periods often affects whether that change effort is successful. Many people are familiar with the statistic that 70% of all company change efforts fail. Often they fail because of poor implementation or what many people call execution. I just love that word execution because it has two meanings. Execution can mean implementation, and execution can mean assassination. Well, I'm just joking, but you get the point. How we implement a change effort is critical to the success of that change effort. And it's complicated because if it is a large company, and we're talking about a change effort may require 4 to 6 years to implement, it begs the question, will we have the same leaders in place at the beginning and at the end? And often the fact is we won't. The average tenure of a CEO is 2 years or less. And if it takes 4 to 6 years to implement a strategic change in a company, we can see that we might have had several senior leaders. Will they all support that long-term implementation? Often they will not. And that can be a complicating factor to the successful implementation of a change effort. So there you have it, my brief discussion of OD interventions. I wrote a book on that topic and with some colleagues, and you can have a look at that book and it will give you some guidance on key issues to consider in the successful implementation of change efforts. Thank you for listening.